So I noticed this morning as I'm checking the tyres on the bikes, and I'm looking at my sump guard, and it's particularly filthy. And it looked like it'd been sprayed with oil, and I'm looking at it going, that's something not right. Where's the fluid coming from? And then I noticed that I've got a blown fork seal on the right hand side. Hardly any surprise after some of the corrugation that we went over yesterday. Holy cow! So the Midas E10 on the back has decided that it can't handle the horsepower of the cross tourer. I was hoping I'd be able to make it to Melbourne, but unfortunately I'm only going to make it to Canberra. So we've got quite a lot of dirt to do after we leave Canberra, so I'm going to do the sensible thing and put a new tyre on, and if we get a good deal on tyres, I'll put 2 on. But I might just get them to pull the dust cover off that fork seal while we're there, while we've got the front wheel off, and just run one of those fork doctors up around it and see if we can stop that leaking a bit. Yeah, so we left Taralga after a really, really good night. Had breakfast at a really nice little cafe. These little towns, all the way in country New South Wales and country Victoria and country Queensland, are really learning that there's a lot of money to be made from catering to the travellers. The pub last night was really, really well done up. Had lots of timber and stone, and it was just in really, really good condition. Good showers, good beds, good facilities. The food was great. It was just a really, really, really nice. And we're finding that as we're travelling, on an adventure bike, you travel around some of these backcountry roads and end up in small country towns, and people are mostly really hospitable. The food and the facilities and accommodation and everything is mostly of a very high standard and really cheap. The whole experience has just been fantastic. One of the comments that somebody made at breakfast was the amount of money that the MotoGP provides is not just at Phillip Island, not just at the racetrack, but it's all the people that are flying and driving and riding and actually travelling by whatever means to get to the event, and just pouring money into the economy. I mean, this is, service stations, and there's cafes and hotels, and like every night we've stopped. The closer we get to Phillip Island, the more and more bikes we see. The places get busy on these major events, but the number of people that have actually said, like a lot of the guys have not been down this kind of route before, on the highway, or they haven't tried to travel the back roads. They're kind of going, I am coming back here. And so there's all that repeat business as well. Yeah, there's definitely money to be made from adventure bike riders, people in caravans, and I like to do trips. I've got a four-wheel drive van that I go away in, and I like to do trips in that. It's pouring money into the economy, into these country towns, and you get to see some really, really nice places. A lot of people just don't ever get out of the city. They don't ever get out to these areas. So you're going to have a crack at that fork seal, and they are gone. So I'm going to do the front at the same time. These are the Shinko Adventure 804s. They've been really, really good, and would probably get me home, but it's a bit borderline, so made the call. We're going to go with the Kenda big blocks. Those ones there. Never tried them. Have read good things about them. Well, that definitely needs to go. That definitely needs to go. Alright, well, what have we got? Quarter to 12. Back on the road after a new set of tyres, and while we were there we got that fork seal looked at, and they had the wheel off. They just ran a seal doctor around the seal, pulled the dust cover off, and it stopped leaking in the workshop. So we just need to keep an eye on it now to make sure it's actually stopped leaking, because if it's not just dirt that was causing the leak, it might be something. Obviously need a new seal in there, so that'll cause a little bit of a headache down in Melbourne. Really cool thing happened. So I've been following a guy on Instagram called Peter Var 53. Peter's a cross tourer rider as well, and Peter has just finished a 23,000 kilometre circumnavigation of Australia on the cross tourer. Wow, I tell you, just such a great thing having a network. So I met him on Instagram. Here's the funny thing, I met him on Instagram. You know, we got chatting. I was the first cross tourer to Cameron Corner, and he was the first cross tourer to the Cape, which is a much bigger feat than mine. I was very, very impressed with that. He lives in Canberra, so yesterday when I knew that I wasn't going to make Melbourne with the tyre on the back, I sent him a message through Insta, and I said to Peter, mate, where are the good bike shops in Canberra that'll have tyres, because we're kind of on our way, a little bit out of the road, but in the general direction. So he shot me back a message, sent me a list of places in Canberra that have actually got tyres. I called them last night or yesterday afternoon, called them, had a chat to them, and found a place that's actually got the tyres the right size, and went in there and got really well looked after by Joe's Motorcycles in Canberra, or Fyshwick in the Australian Capital Territory. So they had a really good selection of tyres. They had half a dozen, at least 6 different tyres that would have fit on this bike, so I was very impressed. I had a really good choice. Didn't have to end up with a tyre I didn't want. It's about an hour and a half for us on the at the shop. It'll have a little bit of an impact on our trip today, but hopefully not so much. We'll have a quick lunch and get back on the road. We can probably travel a bit quicker. There's a few of us now, so. Hey mate, you'll get past that dead roo? Yeah, okay. I was just expecting one of the Katos to come over the hill and go. Here's another one over here. Well, the problem with national parks, they don't do any culling, so there's generally a lot more wildlife in a national park. Let you guys go. Have fun. I'll leave you guys to a corner marker, eh? Okay, so here's the situation. Nobody bothered to check to see if the barrier was open. So we got to the service station, filled up, heard a rumour at the shop where we had lunch, heard a rumour that it might not be open, kind of went, oh, what can you tell us? So we went, yeah, no, it's shut. It's been shut since May because of the landslide. I'm talking about Barry Way, not Alpine Way. Yeah, Barry Way is shut. What? So went and checked at the service station. I said, yeah, no, it's been shut since May of the landslide. So yeah, sorry. It'll be open on the weekend. So none of us, not one of us bothered to check. I'm taking responsibility for it though, because, you know, it was my suggestion to go the Barry Way. I checked to make sure the Alpine Way was open or not, but I just didn't even bother to think that. Anyway, so we've got to get to kind of Lake's entrance, really only just a couple of 100 kilometres over the hill. If we could have gone Barry Way, we would have been there kind of 4:30, 5:30, something like that. This way that we're going now is going to get us in at about 6:30 tonight. So we're going to go through Bombala, and from Bombala we're going to go to through Delegate. It's a really nice road. There'll be a bit of wildlife that time of night though, so we just have to be a little bit careful. That's why it's called an adventure, right?
Stars began to fall around you, and the words that have been spoken are just what you knew. Only time will tell if what we have been told is true. So just stop and close your eyes. I know that this road may not be what it seems to be.